Yo, welcome to Life in Perspective. It's season 3. We're talking defining moments, and you already know I'm bringing my friends to the party. This week is more like family, though. I got my brother, Randy Seabonds, okay? The celebrity publicist. I call him Rando. It's okay. But I'm honored that Randy would grace me with his presence.
I'm just honored that you invited me. I'm grateful to be here.
Okay, y'all, I gotta give backstory on Randy. Okay, Randy and I have been friends since like 2015, 2014.
Yeah.
Dang, almost 10 years in the game.
It really started 2013.
Dang.
Yeah, we getting old. That's
Wow.
10 years.
No, don't talk about it. We don't talk about our age here. We don't need to put that in perspective.
Jeez, I didn't say age. I'm just like, that's 10 years, though.
Oh,
but
my
wow,
goodness.
A decade went by so fast.
So fast. And this is our first time seeing each other in almost 2 years.
Yeah. Do better.
You do better. You do better. No, but y'all, okay, talk about friendship. And your friends rooting for you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the main reasons I'm even in LA is because Randy was like, you need to go to LA. I feel like we used to like sit in his apartment. He literally lived on the block that my parents' house was. Like his apartment building was like the end of the block.
Remember we heard those fireworks? He's on the phone.
And we were on the phone and we like,
we real close to each
we
other.
are really close in the same neighborhood.
Yes.
It's like, bro, did you just hear that? Did you?
Was that a firework or gunshot? Because, 4th of July was like a few weeks ago. It should be done by now, right?
It's definitely not fireworks.
Yep.
It's giving gunshots, and we just heard the same one.
Yep. And we realized we was neighbors.
Man, and we used to sit in his apartment, and to think that we're now doing things that at that time we were only dreaming about 10 years later is like perspective.
Really? Life and perspective.
Man, no, for real. And then I moved to LA. The first place I lived was Randy's living room on an air mattress, okay? We shared
Humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings, okay?
We
And
be scraping our pennies together to get some
to get
Chick-fil-A
food,
or
to get
Chick-fil-A,
Chipotle or Chick-fil-A. And Randy was not cooking. He wasn't Chef Randy then.
No,
He
'cause I
had
was
2
pescatarian,
meals.
remember?
He had 2 meals. It was chicken tacos and this little
Fish tacos.
Fish-
That's
oh,
when
I
I
had
still
chicken.
pescatarian. You did the chicken.
I had chicken tacos, and it was some kind of like
Oh, the
stir
veggie
fry,
one. Yeah,
a veggie stir fry. Y'all, those were his 2 meals. We was
Being a
eating them every
pescatarian was
week,
not easy.
every other day.
Literally.
And it was like, hey, you got it for food. We have stories for days, okay? Coming out of Whole Foods, I got hit by a car, okay? I got hit by a car. I don't know what the woman or guy was doing,
She didn't know
but
what she was
she
doing
for
either.
sure hit me. And he
I was
literally,
like, wait.
he put his hand out. He said, wait.
Like, we have memories.
It's like, what is happening? But those are like some of my best times. Like I always say, like, man, when I make my first $1 million, Randy got at least, $100K.
I'll take that.
No,
Times
because
5,
I think it's like we all have friends. We all have different types of friends. But a friend who will offer their space when they were not in the best space, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we both are walking through some dark times at the same time where those moments you want to be by yourself. And we had to have them together or like together but apart. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I am so grateful for you, not just for allowing me to stay in your space, but for believing in me. I think like before anybody else, Randy would be like, Brenda, you need to be in LA
To
where
the
you
point where
sit.
it got me in trouble, remember?
Yeah, we fell out over that actually because I was trying to serve the Lord with gladness. And Randy was like, if you don't get out of that church, okay, I really wish, today, if we really talking about it, I had to listen. That was the Lord.
So you eventually
It's
found
okay.
your way, and you here now.
And, I guess I needed that journey. But Randy was like, hey, get out that church. But it's so true. Sometimes we can think like fear and also what we know feels safer than taking a jump or taking a leap. And Randy used to be on me, okay? We stopped talking for almost a year because I'm like, bro, I get that you are in LA.
But what brought us back? The church.
It was the church.
Not the way in which
No.
one would think, but
But,
God's will prevailed, okay?
For sure. He knew. But no, super grateful for you.
Likewise.
And I am so happy for you because you are happy.
Thank you.
Like
been a
literally and let's talk about that because I know to get back into a space where you enjoy life and love life and love what you do because I know how many times you have walked away from PR and been like, to heaven with PR and all the people I'm serving, and to see you now, like, not just doing it again, but enjoying it, and also getting your flowers, because I've also seen you give your heart to people and they kind of just stomp on it. And I remember a couple of times, and we the kind of friends that when one friend it's probably toxic, but when we ain't talking to somebody, we ain't talking to somebody, okay? And
Literally.
Randy started talking to somebody again, and I didn't know.
Like,
I didn't get the memo. And so we were all in the same space, and I was very nice to her.
She was committed. She was like, no,
we don't do this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, we talking to her again. Got it. Okay, we cool. But yeah, like, let's talk about that. What has that journey been like to find happiness and joy in what you love to do?
You know, it's the cliche thing that everyone tells you that at first feels dismissive in your immaturity, and it's self-love. Mm-hmm. Like, self-love is literally the answer for me. I think growing up, I had accepted what other people told me. Mm. And so I allowed other people's projections to define me. And so I accepted that I was ugly, that I was a lame, and all these things. So I figured, well, why put effort into my appearance and into these things? Like, people don't care about that anyway. My works is what's going to work for me. So that's why I was such a dedicated worker and such a dedicated server. I'm like, I would always say, like, I don't have to be Batman, because, you know, church, we really learn to be humble. The first should be last, and you should be the greatest servant. So I'm like, great, I'll be the servant. Like, I'll be Robin. I'm cool with being Robin. So what I didn't realize is that I manifested that. My life became me being Robin, who is sometimes included in the story and sometimes not. Batman name is always there. Robin is like a good supporting role that we think about every now and then. Yeah. And I settled for that because I believe those projections. And the moment I stopped believing those projections and I started to embrace all that I was and all that I wasn't, life shifted immediately. Like, and when I say immediately, it's just like immediately but gradually at the same time. Yeah. In the sense of, like, I was able to see myself up front. I was able to see myself winning. I was able to see myself getting the flowers that I feel like I always deserve. And it wasn't until I believed it that it started to happen. Everyone else had always told me, from my mom to just friends, clients, everyone has always spoken it to me. And I'm so grateful for those words. Yeah. But it took me to finally believe it for myself, for me to really see change and really see happiness. And I think before, I was wearing the mask that allowed me to project who I thought everybody wanted me to be, the perfection that everybody, wanted. So when I wore that, it's so funny how many people was like, we respect who you are, but we can't relate. Yeah. And so a lot of people, even friends, would push me away. And I didn't understand it at first. And it's so funny when I found my real self and I embraced my brokenness, I embraced my flaws, I embraced everything that ultimately made me me. I found my real tribe, and those real people have still been here most consistently. Yeah. And they've affirmed me and poured into me in ways that's allowed me to see the story differently now. Yeah. So now I don't accept the projections from before. I don't believe the lies from before, the lies that others have told me, and even the lies that I've told myself. Yeah. And now I truly embrace everything that I am and everything that I'm not, so that even the things that I desire to be that I'm not yet, I can be, but I can't be that if I don't acknowledge that I'm not yet. Yeah. So it's been really a process of embracing self-love and seeing how much of a difference me loving myself first makes with the capacity that others have then to love me. Because if I love me, I'm not going to allow somebody who don't love me the way I at least love me to then inhabit my space or to take my time or to even do business with me. I'm very even particular about business. Like, I only want to do business with people I genuinely know, love, and trust. Yeah. Meaning, if you tell me this is all you got, I believe it. I don't have to wonder, like, are you trying to get over on me, or what's your intentions? Like, I want to, as a publicist, I'm a co-signer. I'm having to co-sign whatever it is that you're promoting. So I have to believe in it. So for me, I want to actually know the people and have a relationship with the people so I can believe them and I can be a good co-signer. And if I'm not the one, I'd rather they leave it for somebody who can. Yeah. But again, you have to love yourself enough to do that, because if you don't, and if you feel like, okay, well, I got to take what I can get, you're going to take everything that comes your way, because you don't have faith that it'll work out for you. So it's like you kind of move from this poverty mentality, or even just being desperate. And when you're desperate, it's like whatever it takes will fill the role. Yeah. But it's like, I don't want to be desperate no more. I only want what's for me, what's aligned for me, because anything that's not will cause friction. It will derail me. But if I'm in alignment, I'll constantly stay on my path, and no matter what comes my way, I'll be able to handle it because it's in alignment with me.
Yeah. Wow, you better preach a sermon, because that's
Not
what that
trying.
just was. No, that's really good, because it's kind of like there's like that saying, like, you teach people how to treat you and you teach people how to love you. But I think sometimes we think like we are supposed to walk a person through how they're supposed to love us, when really how I love myself is a blueprint for how you should love me.
Yes.
And if you can't love me on the level I'm loving myself, then
No
we don't
love
need.
lost.
Yeah, but
Just-
this isn't it for me. And I love that you said desperation will cause you to just accept anything, because I think that sometimes, and that doesn't just have to be for work or like professional relationships, that's relationships period. If I feel like this is the only thing I'll get, I'll accept whatever this is bringing me. So if it's not like it's taking away self-worth, and it's taking from me, I'll still keep it, because I feel like this is the only thing I have. And so I love that. I love that. I think that this is a defining moment, because I literally like can find myself like, whenever you post something, there is this smile that you have that you've always had, but you could tell it's coming from within. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not contrived. You're not putting on for the gram.
Yeah.
It's like you genuinely from ear to ear.
Because that was my biggest insecurity, and I talk about it now, but like in high school, none of my high school pictures were given out. Like my smile was the thing that people were like, oh, don't smile. You're even ugly when you smile. So it's just like I hid from that for so long. And to now embrace it, it's just like now it's my favorite asset.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to do. And it's
Yeah.
the thing that gets me the most compliments.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know what? I'm sorry for all those people who didn't enjoy the smile. I'm sorry
Yeah.
I let y'all down. But I'm grateful for those who embrace me now. And honestly, if nobody else embraced me, I embrace me.
For
and
sure.
that alone is enough for me now.
It's crazy because we don't recognize like the seeds and how they're planted, or the ones we plant and the effect that they have. And it's so interesting because if we aren't careful, those things are to make sure we never become the person we're supposed to become. Because that is, like you said, your best asset. It's attractive. It has people going like, "Oh my God, you look happy!" Like, who
And
is
it's
this?
so funny because all those things, even my voice, like
Yeah.
that was another one of my biggest insecurities, from the sound of my talking voice to my singing voice to even telling people I sing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm even just now at 33 starting to be like, yes, I sing. Yes, my degree is in vocal performance and music business, not PR. Like, yes, I write music. Yes, I have these other gifts that's not just about me promoting other people. I've just been afraid to do that for so long. I've been afraid to put me out there. And now God has been releasing me and allowing me to step out there and to see that actually the thing that people told me that people always say nobody want to hear your life story.
Yeah.
And it's like now my
That's not
testimonies are the
true.
biggest blessing to people.
Yeah.
It's like the best thing I have to offer is my story. Nothing else. It's like just that alone sometimes is enough. And the Bible tells us we're overcome by the word of our testimony.
For sure.
And it's not just us overcoming though. Other people. I did a podcast back in November. One of my best friends from high school, who I haven't seen in over 15 years, reached out to me, sent me audio messages telling me how much that impacted them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, had I listened to all those people growing up, all those friends who told me that nobody wanted to hear my voice, that I talk too much, that I'm annoying, all those things like that. And again, life can't use those who aren't close to you, because
For sure.
you
hold their word holds weight. As much as it shouldn't, it does.
Yeah, but the ones close to you, that's who it can slip through. So you have to be mindful, and it's not always that they have bad intentions. It's just that you're most vulnerable to them.
Yeah.
And so you really have to be at a place where it's like, I'm grateful for everybody who loves me. But what is God telling me?
For sure.
Because even my mom and my dad are going to have great intentions for me, and they're going to have desires for me. But still, even then, what is God telling me?
Yeah.
What is I'll share this little story. A lot of people don't know yet. A lot of people saw me post the other day I got a new car.
Yeah.
Literally not even 12 hours later, my car was totaled. Like, not even 12 hours later.
Wait, the new car?
Brand new car was totaled in the middle of the night.
Randy, what?
And it was so crazy and bizarre and so unexpected. But at the same time, I was just like, okay, God, I can't take this personal. I didn't, there was nothing that could have been done. Like, it was the middle of the night. I wasn't there. I'm thankful I wasn't in it. But what I tell you, I learned from it was this. When I was leaving my destination, GPS told me to go one way, but I felt something in my spirit tell me to go another way. But I'm like, you know what? It's late. Let me listen to GPS. And I listened to GPS and made it 5 minutes from home and got turned around because the tree was half fallen, and the lights were out. So I had to go back and take a whole another way around and just take a whole lot more time to get back to my destination than I wanted to at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then even when parking, I was just like, okay, something told me not to park here, but it's late. I don't see nothing else, and I don't feel like walking. It's raining. I'm going to just park here. And not even 5 minutes later, my car was hit and totaled. And again, legal part, it was nothing that was wrong. It was just in me, I heard something that told me something different.
It was the Holy Spirit.
Literally. And so for me now, that was my lesson. I'm like, God, I thank you that you were able to work it all out, and favor got me a new car and replaced that one already. But I'm grateful that now I know that even when GPS says this, even when, you know, all the signs point to this, but if I hear you saying something different this day, I want to do that. And I want to be that in tune, you know, with myself, but also with life in general, just like being able to hear and to really act upon what you hear, and to not just be set in routine, because we can get stuck in routine and we miss the signs, we miss the messages, we miss the not this time, you know?
No, that, first of all, that whole situation will preach, because oh my goodness, like it is exactly what you're saying, like being in tune with Holy Spirit, because like God will, he always speaks, he will always cover you. It's how much am I willing to listen and obey? Because you heard it, but you're like, I'm tired, I don't got time for this. That ain't just parking a car, that's life. There have been plenty of times where God's like, hey, go do this thing, and I'm like, all right, or I'm gonna put it off, right? Or I'm like, I'm gonna do it, you know, when I get to it. And that story in itself is a picture of what it is like to miss God.
But I'm so grateful for grace and the fact that even when we miss the mark, he allows us to learn sometimes without consequences.
Absolutely.
You know? And so I'm grateful for those moments now. And now, rather than being frustrated, I'm like, ain't nothing I could do. This is just literally fun. This is a God thing. I'm thankful that I learned from this. I know God is going to work it out and replace it. And he did immediately. Like, I went to the dealership the next morning. He's like, oh, we'll get you a new one. Insurance worked everything out. Like, immediately. It was no headache attached to it. But the lesson I learned was still valuable. And that's what it's about for me now. It's like, okay, God, all things are working for my good. Then that means the ebbs and the flows. Like work for my good. It means the ups and the downs are working for my good. So how can I learn from each of those things rather than being frustrated or discouraged or like, you know, being in a sunken place because life happens. Life won't happen, but I've been confessing no weapon formed against me prosper.
Come on,
so
you
the
better
weapon is going to
confess the
form,
word.
but it won't prosper. So when these things happening, I'm not losing peace. I'm not allowing it to remove me from peace because it's just a weapon forming, but it's not going to prosper. I'm going to stick to my confessions, even when it don't look like the way what I've been believing for is going to work out. I think back to, is it Joseph, right, who went through the pit and he was given a promise, but then he went through
all the things that were not
literally that could discourage him. And so for me now, I'm so tunnel vision, and that is just like, I know what it looks like, and that's why I don't go by like sight. I move by faith because I see what it looks like, and I hear your concern, and your concern is real. Let's acknowledge that. However, there's something in me that's telling me different, and if you don't feel comfortable walk with me, I won't be mad at you. I get it, because this is my faith journey, and my faith is telling me here. My faith ain't like everybody else's. To some people, the things I do or believe or say, it won't make sense.
Outlandish.
It sounds so outlandish, but I'm sure flying a plane sounded outlandish at one point.
Until somebody
and Wi-Fi
did it.
sounded outlandish, and being able to not be pen pals using a cup and a string, but using a phone and use wireless signals, that sounded outlandish. But it's possible now, right? So everything else that I was told that I can't do and that won't work, I'm happy to do it and show you and increase your faith as I elevate and do it.
Come on. And that is life in perspective. Hello, somebody. No, that's so, like, I don't gotta preach it because you did, but that that is legit. I want to go back to something you said in regards to friendships and also like what people say and what they see and not allowing that to affect you because you never, all of the things that you've produced and the things that you've put out, people need that. What God puts on the inside of any of us, there is something that they need. And you mentioned like writing music, and I was there for the EP release, The Messengers. There are some songs on there I love. And the crazy thing is my dad is currently walking through a health journey that is just unexpected. And I was talking to him the other day, and he's like, now I be sending him songs on Apple Music. He's like, yeah, I've been playing Randy's CD.
Wow.
Like, and he's like, man, that music is, you know, it's getting me through, keeping my faith up. And I was like, Randy, I can't wait to tell Randy this. Like, on it, because it's a CD. It is a CD. A literal CD, not an album. It is a CD going into a
That's
CD
almost
player.
10 years ago, it feels like now.
And I was like, man, we never know. But if you hadn't have put that out, you know, in a space where my dad needs his faith elevated, he wouldn't have had that. You know what I'm saying? And it is, he needs something. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm saying that to say, like, people are not gonna get it. They are not. I just walked away from a very secure job and said, God told me to do this. You know what I'm saying? And nobody gets it. I'm sure my parents are probably like, girl, all right, 2 months.
Honestly, but that's how they get it. It's by you taking that faith move. Like you having that faith move. So many times I've had to take the leap of faith all by myself and be like, God, me again? Can't you use somebody else for an example?
You say,
I'm tired of being the lifetime
no
story.
show and tell with me.
Like, seriously. But at the same time, people are so, my own family, my mom, and them tell me, man, your faith just really moves me. Like, I've had people, strangers reach out to me, but like, you know, I just don't know who else to reach out to.
Same.
And open up and pour their life out to me and ask me just for prayer. And I'm like, I don't take that lightly. I take that as an honor that you don't know me, but you feel like I'm a person who can pray for you. And at first, I can't lie, I went through a phase where I'm like, I'm tired of just being everybody's prayer partner. I want more than a prayer request. I want friend requests. I want genuine friends. And not trying to be selfish, but it's like, don't just call on me to come, you know, be the savior. You know, like I want to hang out. I like to go out. Like I want to be a normal person, not just the person that you call on when you have a need. But I had to let my ego go and say, you know what? It ain't about me.
Nope.
You know, if these people need and if they need access to prayer and through someone like me, then let me humble myself and give them that, because you know what? That's so much better than anything I could give. That's better than advice I could give, than money I could give, resources, relationships, anything. That prayer sometimes is all that's needed, and I've really learned that in this last season.
Yeah.
Like genuinely everything I'm experiencing right now, from friend trips to the car to elevation in my professional life to happiness in my personal life, is the result of prayer. I did a fast back in December, and my best friend and I, we literally pray every single day throughout the day.
Yeah.
I'm outside walking around the block at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning because we're just on the phone praying. And I have literally been living in the manifestation of my prayers because I've made it a lifestyle, not just something I do because I got a need. But it's just my lifestyle. When I'm frustrated, when I'm sad or discouraged, I'm praying about it and I'm manifesting and I'm seeing my words become reality.
Yeah.
I'm seeing my thoughts become things, and I'm seeing me now live the life that I've always wanted to live. And it's so funny because even in me getting some of the things that I've always wanted, I see why I never got it before and why I didn't need it. And then, yes, in some things I see, as much as I thought I would have been ready, I really wasn't. And I really trust God's timing now. So even when, again, something like to tow people hit your door at 3 o'clock in the morning saying your car's in the middle of the street totaled, it's like, that's actually funny to me, because you know what? This isn't the devil. This isn't evil. This isn't like a plan of the enemy. I'm like, this is a God thing, and I don't know how, but he's about to use this to display my faith once again. I just testified about the car not even 12 hours ago. And it's okay, so the testimony about to get, only because I made that choice though. Had I been set in my sunken place, like, what? Why me? How could this happen to me? Oh, woe is me. It probably wouldn't have been those results. But me manifested like, no, this is working for my good, and it's going to be a testimony for this. I believe that I am transforming the life that I live every day by using being more conscious about the words I speak and how I respond. It's not always about what happens, but it's really our response. And we have a responsibility over how we respond. And now that I know that and I don't take things personal, it's allowing me to see that all things genuinely are working for my good.
No, that's real. That, I feel like that is the reason I started this podcast, is because I needed the ability to be able to take the lens of my feelings off and put on the lens of my faith, and even the stuff that was trash. It's like, okay, God, what am I supposed to get out of this? And I know I'm walking through this. I know it's tough. I know I don't understand it. I don't know why it's happening to me, but I want to see your purpose and your plan in it. And Romans 8:28 is it was a promise he made to me. I got on a plane. He said, I'm going to work this for your good. And I've seen it. I've seen it happen time and time again. I've seen being able to get out of my feelings and sit down and go, okay, God, what are you saying? In everything. What are you saying? What is it that I need to learn? Who do I need to become through this? And I think if we could do that, it changes your perspective. It changes how you respond to things, because you go like, first of all, God don't never leave me.
No.
So I know he's even in this, even though it is derailing what I thought it would be, he's still in this, and being able to see it. And so I feel like this is the perfect place for you to pray for us, Mr. Prayer, all day and night. We love that. And just for anybody who's listening with struggling with saying yes and taking a leap of faith, all the way down to being able to see God in everything.
Definitely. Well, let's do it. God, I thank you for this platform, and I thank you for all the people who are going to be able to experience these conversations being produced by Brenda. And I thank you that lives are going to be transformed. I thank you that lives will be saved. I thank you that you're going to allow people to resonate with the stories that take place here, and that they'll find bits and pieces that make them feel a little more free, that make them feel a little more bold and being honest about their confessions, that allow them to experience something that lets them see that they're not alone. So I thank you for every voice that will be present on this platform, that will share their stories and their truths for your glory. And I'm excited to be one of the voices here. I thank you for how you're going to use my testimony and Brenda's testimony and every other guest's testimony to be a blessing to your people. And we thank you that you're giving us these experiences to share with others. I'm excited about what you're going to produce through us. And I thank you for all the stories that will come in from people watching, talking about how much their lives were transformed, how much their lives were blessed by this platform. So thank you for helping us have a platform to put life in perspective and a way to encourage people who have been down, who needs to just be uplifted, who needs to hear your voice, who needs just a little more motivation to go on and finish that thing called life, that finish this journey and not give up. So I thank you for all the lives that will be impacted and touched by this platform. Thank you so much for bringing everybody here to be a part and to pour into this. And I'm so excited for all the lives, again, that are going to be reached and touched. Amen.
Amen. Rando,
Thanks for
thank
having
you
me.
for being here. Y'all, this is Life in Perspective. Make sure you follow Randy. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, share this right now, and we'll be right back next week. This is Life in Perspective. We out.